Hey guys, it's Rob here and welcome back to another video. In this video, we are going to talk about the leaked details on the Nintendo online playtest, why Nintendo may be doing this, and what could come from it when it comes to the Nintendo Switch 2 and just the overall future of the Nintendo Switch brand. So The Verge has all the details on it and this is what they had to say. Nintendo has updated the official website for its mysterious Switch online playtest program, today privately revealing more information to participants about what it entails. The playtest is running from October 3rd, 9 p.m. ET to November 5th at 8 p.m. ET. So by the time this video comes out, it should be the 23rd, and if any more details come out, make sure you guys are subscribed because I will be covering any new details that come out from this playtest. But anyways, continuing. The test software is now available to download ahead of the start gameplay and requires 2.2 gigabytes of free space. Participants didn't sign an NDA. Now, quick correction on my last video, I thought they signed an NDA. They didn't. Nintendo just didn't want them to share the details, but you know how people are. But anyways, continuing. But Nintendo requested in the playtest terms and conditions that users refrain from sharing any details about it, which has gone about as well as expected. So people are full on leaking this out, which was kind of obvious. I think everyone knew that was going to happen eventually. And of course, Nintendo doesn't like that. The reason why I say that is because if you look at a lot of the photos that are on Twitter, those photos are unavailable. If Nintendo is taking all this down, that means this is a pretty big deal. This probably has to do a lot with the Nintendo Switch 2, I'm assuming, and overall the future of the Nintendo Switch. More on that later. While Nintendo has been already starting issuing copyright strikes to take the leaked media offline, screenshots and information about the playtest are still available on websites like X and Reddit at the time of this writing. And here are the actual details that have leaked out, and it's really cool, honestly. I like the idea of what Nintendo is doing here. This is what they're doing. This appears to, oh my god, I just had a really good idea. Hold on. Let me get through the information first and then let me tell you what that idea is, because I think that would actually be really cool. This appears to be Nintendo's attempt to develop a first MMO, massive multiplayer online style game, according to the game description. The goal is to work with others to fully develop a massive expansive planet by utilizing creativity and framed resources. What game does that sound like, guys? Obviously, Minecraft, but there's another game that Nintendo owns. As they progress and utilize beacons to create zones to help develop the environment around where they're placed, these beacon zones are personal. Players can only move, lift, or edit in zones that they have placed and can't edit anything within someone else's beacon. Now, there's a specific game that does this already. Not on the scale of what they're talking about in this, but Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing, you can do this. Just replace beacon with town, and that's Animal Crossing, right? Moving stuff, getting resources. That's what we had to do in Animal Crossing New Horizon. I'm wondering if Nintendo's gonna utilize this in Animal Crossing, whatever the subtitle is going to be for the next game. I think that would be pretty cool. There's a separate social hub called the Dev Core where players can level up, obtain items, and interact with each other. Nintendo describes UGC, user-generated content features, for creating and sharing custom content. Again, in Animal Crossing, you were able to create custom content. It sounds just like a much bigger Animal Crossing. But players are required to pass an in-game test to show how you understand the importance of respectful communication before the capability can be unlocked. At a glance, the game shares similarities to family-friendly MMOs like Minecraft and Roblox. The IP is either entirely new in that it doesn't feature any recognizable Nintendo characters, or it's a placeholder for the game itself, meaning it could be part of an existing franchise at release. Again, I think this could be for a new Animal Crossing, a much more expansive Animal Crossing. One that maybe will get a lot of updates and new furniture and new clothes, just overall a lot of new things and things that are made from characters, or not characters, players as well. I don't know, I just think that would be cool. Or it's just going to be a whole new IP. You never know. Now, someone on Twitter made a pretty good point here. It's a new game, but the goal of the playtest is not the game itself, it's to see if a large-scale multiplayer works on their servers. So that's another reason why they could be doing this playtest. For whatever game they're going to be doing, they could be doing this playtest to make sure the servers are solid. Now, one thing I do have to say is it's interesting to see Nintendo jumping into the MMO space. I never really thought that they would do that. Sure, they've had multiplayer games where you can interact with characters and other people and stuff, but it's never on the large scale as it was, or as it is, I mean, in this playtest. It's only 10,000 people, but you guys know what I mean. Nintendo typically doesn't go for the MMO style. It's usually interacting with other players who own the game. Games like Pokemon, games like Animal Crossing, it's usually things like that. It's never on a larger scale. So if they do end up doing a MMO game, I wonder what IP they're going to be using, or is it going to be a new one? Of course, the first thing that comes to mind is Animal Crossing. The part where it says the goal is to work with others to fully develop develop a massive expansive planet by utilizing creativity and framed resources. That's what you do in Animal Crossing. You can build different furnitures, you can build different things for your house when it comes to Animal Crossing New Horizon anyways. Maybe if they do this in the next Animal Crossing, again, this could be for multiple games as well. Later they can do that for other games too, not just one game. Of course, depending on how it does anyways. But it says creativity and frame resources, maybe developing these massive expansive planets or towns as it were in Animal Crossing. Maybe that's what you do in the next Animal Crossing. And maybe these towns can connect to each other. The only thing I do have to say is I don't know how you would make that just massively different from just Animal Crossing already, right? But if it's not Animal Crossing, because one thing that I think I do have to say when it comes to this being Animal Crossing or an Animal Crossing game is they also say this: new lands, enemies, and resources. Animal Crossing doesn't have enemies, so that's one thing that I think maybe you could say, well, it probably isn't Animal Crossing, because they do say enemies and there's no enemies in Animal Crossing, which that leads me to just an entirely new IP then. Now the big question is, when can we see this? When can we see what kind of game they're creating? Well, maybe in the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal. Remember, the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be a little bit more powerful. They're going to need new games, new IPs. That's what's most excited about the Nintendo Switch 2 era, I guess you can call it, is all the new Mario, Zelda, and all those favorite IPs that we have, getting new games and new remasters and ports and all that great stuff, but also new IPs like this playtest that is alluding to one anyways, or at least I hope. And moving on to the next bit of news, we have some pretty fantastic news actually. So over on Nintendo Life, they have an article named Masahiro Sakurai confirms he's working on a new game. So for the past year and a half to 2 years, he's been doing YouTube, making a ton of cool videos on Nintendo games and development and all that great stuff. And apparently during all this time, he's actually been working on a new game. This is what Nintendo Life has to say. Masahiro Sakurai has finished just preparing the final video for his YouTube channel, and as part of the presentation, he's confirmed he has a written proposal for a brand new game. In explaining why he created the YouTube channel in the first place, Sakurai stated that he found himself with very little to do for several months, having successfully created a new game proposal while waiting for the ideal development team to assemble. Now the interesting thing here is apparently he recorded all of those videos 2 years before he even uploaded them. Now we don't have any new details on the game that he's working on, and it's a new game, so it's not like an old IP that he's going to be bringing back or a new game in some kind of franchise. So for fans of Kid Icarus, this is probably disappointing news for you, but I mean, that's what I was kind of hoping too, but you know, it is what it is. Now, my big question is, how far is it in development? Because if it was a proposal and he got all of these videos ready 2 years ago, then does that mean that game got approved and it's currently in development and has been in development for 2 years? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what exactly he's going to be doing. Because again, it's not going to be an old IP. It's going to be a whole new IP, a whole new game. So where are we going to go with this? Either way, we know it's going to be fantastic because, I mean, let's be honest, it's Sakurai. But yeah, overall, it's very interesting stuff. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.